Well, as I eagerly await Halo Reach's release on PC, I decided to go ahead and dust off a game I hadn't played in quite a while. Sea of Thieves. Let's talk about this.
Mistakes were definitely made.
Slim!
Y'all know what day it is? It's bath day.
Hey everybody, what is going on? Brandon here. This time talking about Sea of Thieves. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that this is a game that I played well into the early alpha. I mean, I think it was like a year before it ever even came out. I was testing this game and providing feedback in the forums, finding bugs and whatnot. This is one of the games I absolutely fell in love with as soon as I got into the alpha. But after its release, it garnered kind of a mixed reaction. A lot of people didn't really care for the style of gameplay. I mean, this is a game you really have to invest a lot of time into. Even just to get on and play for a little bit of time, usually you need to invest a couple hours. And there was just a lot of people that weren't really into the openness of the game and how pretty much it relied on player interaction in order to actually make the game somewhat enjoyable. I mean, if you had no player interactions whatsoever, the game kind of fell flat early in the beginning because aside from going and hunting treasure and fighting weak skeletons, there wasn't a whole lot to do. But since we're going on 2 years now since the game actually released, I decided to get back on here, see what all has changed, see what all they've added to the game. Now, I know some of the stuff they've added because I pretty much played this game non-stop for about 3 months after release, and casually for the first year release. So it's only been about a year since I've really been on here. So that's what I've been doing. This last week, Sea of Thieves has been pretty much the only game I've played for any amount of time whatsoever. Because, obviously we had the holiday, we had Thanksgiving, and I wanted to see, if I only played Sea of Thieves, what all I could get done, see how much has changed over the last year since I've played, see if they fixed any of the problems I had with the game when I stopped playing. Just to see, how is this game now? Now, I will say I've only been playing pretty much solo. There's been a couple times I've played with other people, but I really don't like queuing up with randoms, and it's really hard finding some of my friends that used to play this game to play this game now. So this has been pretty much just a solo week, but I wanted to see, how is the solo experience now, because I did have some issues with it before. I wanted to see if they'd fixed it, so I decided to go ahead and check it out and let you guys know my thoughts. And I gotta say, the experience itself has not really changed all too much over the last year. In fact, I really don't think it's changed too much since its release. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I enjoyed the way it played before at times and didn't at other times. And it's kind of one of those games that you can get on and you can have some fun, or you can get on and you can just completely hate the game and not want to play it for any amount of time whatsoever. And unfortunately, I've had both those experiences this week. I've had both really fun, having a blast, can't wait to play, and then I've had those times where I wanted to break the controller or throw my keyboard or punch my TV. I mean, I've had some really, really aggravating times in this game, and it feels like pretty much all the problems that were in there a year ago or 2 years ago are still in the game now. But I'm going to start off with the good stuff. I don't want everybody to think this whole video is going to be negative, because it's not. There is actually a lot of good here. Because I've always liked Sea of Thieves as a concept. I've always liked the way it played. And I really loved it during the alpha. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of us that were in the alpha. We wanted to experience it as like a pirate would, have a little bit of honor and kind of a code, don't just sink people to sink them if they have nothing, that kind of thing. Work together sometimes to take on skull forts, and that kind of stuff was fun. That kind of stuff made it enjoyable, but it seemed like after it got out of the alpha, that changed a little bit. But one good thing I've noticed is it does seem that there's a lot more to do as a solo player now, or at least a little bit more, I should say, because back when the game first released, there wasn't a whole lot you could do as a solo player. You really couldn't take on a skull fort solo. I mean, you could, but it was like an absolute nightmare to try to do, and really the only reason you'd want to do it would be to prove to yourself that you could. But there wasn't really, aside from going, finding treasure, taking it back, going, finding a captain's skull, taking it back, there wasn't a lot to do. And even when it first came out, the Kraken wouldn't even attack sloops. It would only attack the bigger ships. So it kind of sucked, because you didn't get to experience the thrill of the Kraken coming out and trying to get you. But now it seems that, yeah, the Kraken can still come out and try to get your sloop. There's megalodons. I think yesterday in like an hour I was getting attacked by a megalodon like 4 times. And that can be fun, that can be entertaining. There's a lot more it seems to do as a solo player. And that's good, because that's where the game fell flat a lot for me a year ago. Another cool thing they've added is even more destruction to the ships. You can actually destroy the mast, knocking the sail down and forcing them to use the ropes to pull it up, then using wood to repair it. That is awesome, and it's a nightmare when it happens to you, but I mean, it's just such a cool added mechanic, aside from just plugging up holes with boards. Adding that just adds another level of challenge. If you've got good aim and you can take their sail down, you can stop them in their tracks. I love that. Before, it would become such an aggravation, because if you couldn't knock that sail down back in the day, you just had to continuously hit them, and if it was a two-man sloop versus a one-man sloop, they always had just somebody down below repairing while they sunk you while you were trying to alternate between using the cannons and boarding up your ship. So definitely awesome that they added this. It does make things a little bit more exciting in ship battles, especially in the arena, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. Now, the arena is something that I actually did not play at all until this play session. I'd known it was in the game. I had been curious about it. I've thought about trying it out. I actually was excited about it when it was announced. But when it finally came out, I didn't have any of my friends really to play with, and that meant queuing up with random people in the arena. If you've played Sea of Thieves, queuing up with random people kind of sucks sometimes, because you never really know who is good at doing what. Is this person a really good captain of the ship? Is this person a good navigator? Is this person good on the cannons? Is this person good at, retrieving treasure? Is this a good combat person? You never know, so you get everybody kind of fighting for position, and it just kind of gets awkward, and you gotta hope that everybody else has mics. So it's been something I've been hesitant to want to play. But I decided, you know what, if I'm going to do this video right, I've got to check out the arena so I can let everybody know. And I got to say, I only played a few matches, but my experience in the arena was fantastic. I actually did not have that bad of a time. Now, I did only play duos, so it only queued me up with one other person to worry about. Experience might be a little different if I queue up with 3 other people, but as a duo, it worked out great. And I gotta say, I was worried that the arena was just gonna end up being another battle royale game, another last man standing battle royale just with pirate ships. But I gotta say, the way it's set up is just so fast paced and so fun, and you're on the edge of your seat the entire time you're playing. And even if you win or you lose, it's still a great time. The objective is to get the most treasure off these maps, while at the same time trying to sink the other players. If you sink, you're out of the game with whatever you had. So your goal is to not sink and to get as much treasure as possible. Now, I did not win any of the games. I came in second place twice, and I think third place the next time. So it was definitely an experience, but it was fun. It was exciting, and if you have somebody that actually works with you, the game, it's just fun. It doesn't really matter if you win or lose. You have a blast playing it. And that part of the game is something I should have checked out long before and done a video about it before, and I kind of regret waiting so long to check it out now. But besides all those things, this game still does just live and breathe based around player interactions, and in some instances that's where the game both succeeds and fails, because it really does seem like there's only 2 kinds of games you're going to have in Sea of Thieves. You're either going to have a great time or a productive time, or you're going to have an aggravating time. And that'll all depend on the kind of player interactions you have in the game, because a lot of times it's not the Sea of Thieves, it's the Sea of Trolls. And don't get me wrong, there are games where you'll get on and it will be just like you would imagine. It will be a fun pirate adventure where you're hunting for treasure, you're defending your ship from other people, and you're just, fighting it out, trying to see who can sink who. Eventually maybe you run and flee and get away. Or maybe they get you and they get your treasure, and that kind of sucks. And there are games like that, and it's not so much aggravation because that's how the game's meant to be played. But there are times where the game just gets annoying, and it gets annoying because of some of the players in the game. But there were some days it felt like for every one fun game that I could get into like that, it was 2 games of non-stop people trolling and making the game just completely unenjoyable. For example, the other day I was able to get one of my friends who had never actually played the game before to get on so I could introduce him to it. And other players pretty much ruined that time, because as soon as we got on and went to do one voyage, we couldn't even get to the island where the voyage was on because there was 3 ships all working together to attack us. They chased us around for about an hour. Finally, we scuttled our ship to get put somewhere else. And as soon as we got back towards the island we needed to go towards, they seen us again and chased us around some more, so we ended up having to jump servers. After that, we ended up having a person that was just seemingly invisible on our ship while we were in the middle of the ocean, one-shotting us, and then we'd respawn back on our boat with holes in it, search the entire ship, nobody's around, start to plug up the holes, and seemingly get shot by an invisible person and die. So it's just instances like this that just are really, really frustrating, and sometimes you'll have these kind of instances non-stop. And the worst part about it is, though, that even though this behavior sucks and it drives away players, it's not only not discouraged, it's not even frowned upon, it's promoted. If you go into the forums and look, there's multiple people that have voiced their concerns saying, you know, give us a PvE server for new players, or give us a single player, or give us some way, you know, to give us some form of invincibility after we've already been killed by the same person multiple times, or sunk by the same ship multiple times. You know, give us some way to combat these trolls, and you get told, well, you know, no, get good, kid. And it just drives away players. Case in point, my friend that I was playing with that day, after all that happened, he doesn't want to play anymore. He's done playing that game. And that's what I don't get with the players, is it's still a game. You still need players to make it an enjoyable experience. So if you're going to attack a ship to see if they've got treasure and they don't have any, or you get their treasure or they get away from you, leave it alone. Don't constantly troll a ship for 2 hours to get them to jump servers just because you're bored. I mean, some of us have jobs. We can't spend 2 to 3 hours trying to get one voyage done because some ships won't leave us alone. Some of us want to play and actually enjoy the game, and trolling players kind of ruin that a little bit. And like I said, it's not going to be this way every game. There are good times in this game to be had. It's just you've got to know going into it, you're either going to play and get really frustrated really fast, or you're going to play and you're going to have a good time. And it doesn't matter if you've had a good time 3-4 games in a row. You're going to eventually get aggravated, because it's going to happen. You're going to eventually have these players that don't really care whether you have treasure or not. They're just on there to sink ships and to be kind of douchebags to anybody on there trying to have a good time. It's just part of the game. It's part of the way it plays, and it's part of its charm, and also part of what makes the game just absolutely aggravating, and part of the reason I stopped playing for so long, because it was getting to the point back then it was more aggravation than it was worth. Yes, I was having a good time. Yes, I enjoyed the game. It's beautiful. I love the concept of it. It's a lot more easy to get into than Atlas is. But even in Atlas, there's at least somewhat of a code amongst other ships. You don't generally just have ships sink you just to sink you and continue to troll you. So I definitely think that player interaction is both the selling point and the downside to this game, because that puts it in a very weird place. But guys, Sea of Thieves going into 2020 honestly is a great game. I love it, and at the same time I also hate it. It's definitely, I know that's a weird thing to say and a weird way to end this video, but it's just one of those games where if you've already played it and you know the experiences I'm talking about with other players, and you know that level of aggravation, and that's maybe what drove you to stop playing the same way it kind of caused me to stop playing, don't go into this game back to it expecting any different. It's going to be basically the same thing. Some games are great, some games are just utter hell. It's the same. If you've not played Sea of Thieves, if you're into a kind of a laid-back, slow burn of a game because stuff takes a long time and you have time to put into it, and you're not easily mad, you don't easily get pissed off at players, then check it out. But if you're somebody that will get really mad at somebody trolling you for a couple hours, I wouldn't bother giving this game a chance, because you'll probably end up having an aneurysm. But guys, that's all the time I got for this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you want to see more, please do us a favor and mash that red subscribe button. If you want to know anytime Nathan or I upload videos, please do us a favor and ding that bell icon. And please, if you did enjoy this video, tick that like button. It really means a lot to us. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please do us a favor and mash that thumbs up button. Unless, of course, you're one of the easily offended snowflakes and you've already mashed that dislike button. I know you did. Anyway, check out some of our stuff over on the left. Check out some of our links down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.